Aaron Antis.
Yes, sir.
As you know, on the Thrive Time Show, we like to help businesses to grow.
Yes.
In fact, we just had a workshop, and at the workshop, we had hundreds of entrepreneurs attend the workshop. And these are people that have attended previous Thrive Time Show workshops.
Yeah.
And at the workshop, success was everywhere. In fact, our average client grew by 104% last year. And on today's edition of the Thrive Time Show, we're going to interview another Thriver who's having epic success, because it is now time for another edition of
Wins of the Week! Panic boom!
Doing the bull dance, feeling the flow, working.
You can do it!
Wait, 21 gigawatts!
La 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 loo.
Impressive.
Oh, you smell like a winner.
Oh.
We're good streaking!
Oh, yes. Apparently going streaking is a win. Is a win.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Well, I want to ask you this before we interview today's guest, Aaron. I want to ask you this sincerely.
Yeah.
This is a goal that I have, and I would like to know if this is a goal you have. And if you don't share the same goal, it's fine. It lets us know who you really are.
Okay. Yep.
I've always told my wife I want to have a property where I could go streaking and nobody would know except for me. I want there to be that many trees, that much foliage, that much distance from neighbors. Yeah. I want to, and you say, well, how do you know if you found the right property to purchase? It's if I can go streaking for a significant distance without running into anybody.
Well, at least until you're like winded. I mean, if it's just a short jog.
Do you share the same goal?
I can't say that I share that goal, but I do want to be able to walk out any door in my home and use the restroom without offending any of my neighbors.
You're sick. No, Andrew, before you introduce today's guest, Josiah, before you do that, I'll ask you the same question. Have you ever had the dream where you're like, I want to have a property where I could go outside completely nude and I won't run into anybody that's going to hassle me? And the people that you do run into, they're fine with it.
Well, that would be anywhere in Arkansas.
That's right.
I mean,
we're just setting goals here, guys.
Oh yeah, no. Yes, but not for the purposes of going streaking. Just not being able to see anybody. That's
You've never had that thought?
I didn't say I've never had that thought. I said that's not my goal.
I had that thought just now when you asked it.
That's
Other
right,
than that, no, I haven't had that thought. You're a sick freak.
All right, so Josiah, welcome on to the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
Brother, I'm excited to have you on this show. You have. How did you originally come in contact with us?
Yeah, we actually found you just through the podcast, probably 3-4 years ago now.
3-4 years ago. And was your first interaction with us coming to a conference, or what was your first interaction with us?
Yep. Well, I camped out in Andrew's house for a long time, but he didn't know about that. And then, at the conference.
So you came to the conference. I believe that's when my Hummer, the transmission shifter thing was being weird. I think you helped fix it, didn't you?
Yeah, that was on the second conference we went to, actually.
The second conference, and you live in Iowa, correct?
Yep.
And what do you do? Tell the listeners what you do.
Yeah, so we repair, install, and inspect automotive equipment. So, we'll put together airline, like Dan Am airline, and we'll install your automotive equipment, such as your 2-post and 4-post lifts and in-ground lifts and that kind of stuff. So,
and what's
rebuild cylinders and such.
What's the name of your company?
It's Automotive Lift Services.
And since you've come and counter with us and our team, and now you've been a one-on-one coaching client, tell us about the growth you've had or haven't had.
Well, we've had a crazy amount of growth. We'd probably not be too much of a round if it wasn't for you guys. Because, I believe we started in September. And so what we figured out is from last November to this November, we grew 576%. And that was
Whoa. 576%?
And the name of your company, again, is called what?
Automotive Lift Services.
Automotive Lift Services. And what's the web address?
It's autoliftserve.com.
Autoliftserve.com. Okay.
Yep, SERV.
So, again, what would you say to anybody out there that has not been to a conference? How would you describe it?
is extremely eye-opening. that's I don't really know. It's just you just got to go. Like, you just kind of got to be there. It's crazy. It's very, very eye-opening, revealing. It's kind of changes your whole way of looking at things.
And Josiah, what's your last name?
Ragsdale.
How do you spell that?
Ragsdale.
So Thrive Nation, again, if you check out the website, it's autoliftserve.com. You've grown by 576%. And with that, Andrew, I'm going to let you tee up some questions for our guest here because, how old are you, Josiah?
22. My wife says 22.
I'm just saying you are having massive success. It's so exciting to see this happening. You're a great guy. I can't speak highly enough about you, but one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on the show is you're a young guy. A lot of our listeners are, a lot of our clients are in their 40s and 50s. You're a young guy, and you're just having massive success.
Hey, I'm still young over here, Clay, in my 40s. I mean,
No, are you young? You're beautiful. You're beautiful and you're young. But Andrew, what questions would you have for Josiah?
Yeah, so couple things. I mean, one, I would love it if you talked a little bit about some of the stuff we've implemented with you. I know there's a whole bunch of stuff that we've worked on, put into place, systems, processes. I know right now we're going through making crazy amounts of checklists at the moment. But talk to me a little bit about the Dream 100. Who do you drop off to? What are you dropping off? How often? And how many people are you seeing? Give me like an overview of your Dream 100, what you're doing with that.
So, like, what we did was we stopped at, I think, 35 places because that was a pretty full day, was we would just drop off donuts at about 35 places a day. And that was just every Friday at the same time. And that was to dealerships, to the service managers, or really big independent shops, to the owners, one or the other. And that paid off incredibly. I mean, like, that was huge.
At first, when you started dropping off the donuts, did you think that the donuts were pretty expensive? All this time that we're spending out there, driving around, buying a bunch of donuts, is this ever going to...
Do you have type 2 diabetes?
Yes.
I mean, tell us what kind of pushback did you have?
Oh, yeah, it was bad because you had to buy so many donuts, but then you got a vehicle full of those things.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like $1,500 in donuts a month. It was like, and you probably eat like $900 worth of it.
Whoa.
And then by the time you drop them all off, and it's like 6 weeks later before you start to get anything to kind of do anything. I don't know. It kind of seemed like a little bit. In the beginning, it was more so like the time investment was more painful than anything.
And recently, you just booked a job with somebody, a pretty big job. Tell me about the job, and then how long were you dropping off donuts and forming a relationship with that company before they actually bought something from you?
Not entirely sure which one you're talking. I know we just got one that was, I don't know. I mean, I think we stopped there for 7 or 8 months before they did anything. So it wasn't like horribly long, but
7 or 8
pretty
months.
Big dealership.
That's great.
Wow.
That's some commitment.
I feel like, Josiah, you are implementing the Dream 100 in a way. We teach it to so many people, but you're implementing it, and you're having that success. And, Aaron, you know this because you at Shaw Homes, you guys have delayed gratification as well.
Yeah.
You guys go out there and you think about developing a piece of land, and from the time that you find the land and to the time you can actually build a house on it and sell in lots, how long does that take?
3 years.
3 years. So you understand long-term processes.
Yes.
Long-term delayed gratification. What question would you have for Josiah Ragsdale?
Well, Josiah, other than when I hear 576%, I get excited, and I think the only other person I know that's experienced that was Jesse Pinkman when he had Walter White start making the product for him on Breaking Bad. But outside of
You
that,
know a lot about that show.
Yeah. So
You're sick.
But what with 576%, I'm starting to wonder, did you do like $10 the first year in revenue? Like how when we're talking
No, we were negative, probably negative $10.
Okay. All right.
And that first month in November was $7,000. I think we did around $7,000 in revenue.
Okay.
So we were really new.
Okay, that's awesome. And so when you started to implement, I mean, because there's people who are probably thinking to themselves, well, I don't want to spend the time or the effort on $1,500 in donuts and driving it all over. For you, was there any one thing that you pushed really hard back against Andrew when he started telling you? Because I know for me, when I started working with Thrive, there was probably 8 things that I pushed back on that I was like, that's not going to work in my business.
Aaron was backing that thing up.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't even want to try that. And then finally it was like, things weren't going in the direction I wanted to. And I sort of gave up and said, okay, I'll do what you're telling me to do. Was there something that you really pushed back on that you, other than Dream 100 maybe, was there something else that really helped, get your trajectory going towards 576%?
Probably reviews and video, mainly Google reviews, and then the video reviews, and just pretty much anything to do with the website, because that's like, I didn't really, that seemed like it would be the least amount of return. And like now we're basically living off of the leads that come on Google. I mean, like
it's so funny. It's so funny you say this. That's probably one of the things for me that had the biggest impact too. It's so interesting when I have employees in our company who are saying, I really don't think doing Google reviews is going to change anything. It's not going to really bring that many people in our door. So I recently challenged our team in our Edmond location to go get as many Google reviews as possible. And it was our slowest, one of these neighborhoods was our slowest location. We dumped in about 275 Google reviews in a week. And all of a sudden, it's our top traffic location. We get a ton of people coming to the location, calling for information on the location. It was a big turnaround, but that's awesome. So tell me, like, the evidence that you can look to that says the Google reviews made a difference. Is it that your phone is ringing and people are saying, hey, we've heard about you guys? Like, because for us, it went to, we've heard about you and we've already decided we're buying from you, but we haven't even looked at your product yet, just from Google reviews. Did you have a similar experience?
Yeah, and we get a lot of leads that are like really close to us, and in places like a soil sampling company, for instance. We're doing probably like $6,000 or $7,000 with them now, and they just came from Google, and they're like 10 minutes up the road, and they never would have found us without it.
Wow.
Now,
So it's like one of those, we get a bunch of those like really nice jobs that are just kind of different places that you wouldn't necessarily think of right off the top of your head for automotive equipment.
Now, Pastor Craig Hagan, you're here with you run the church, Rhema Church Bible College, massive Bible college, as well as a church here in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. And you know this, but self-discipline is closely related to success. You know this. You've seen this. People in your church that are very diligent people that are self-disciplined, they tend to do well. Yeah. And people who lack self-control tend to have issues. How exciting is it for you to hear about a young guy, 22 years old, having this kind of growth at such a young age? I mean, a lot of people don't figure this stuff out until they're older. This is pretty, how exciting is that?
It's pretty awesome, man. It's such a young age. How long has your company been in existence?
Probably a year and 8 months.
So you actually, I mean, wow. So in such a short amount of time as well. Now, do you actually sell the lifts or you just service the lifts?
We do sell the lifts now. I was just say selling the lifts hasn't really been necessarily our top priority because it's a pretty cutthroat market otherwise, and we don't really sell them cheap because we're like a for-profit business. Kind of a weird idea. So like we mainly only sell them to people who we already work with.
So your customers are already you're selling them like more lifts. Like for instance, at the church. Yeah. At the church, we actually have our own mechanics, and actually that's one of my first jobs. And we do have one lift, but we would like to have another one. And so you would sell someone like me, if I was one of your clients, then I might say, hey, I need another lift, man. What can you do? And that's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, and I mean we'll sell them to other people too. I'm just gonna say you can definitely buy them cheaper.
Yeah. All right. And so let me ask this question. When Andrew has asked you to do some things, have you ever thought to yourself, well, this ain't going to work? And have you ever thought about not doing what he asked you to do? Or are you just like, man,
oh, definitely.
He's the expert and I'm just going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely thought, we're not going to do it. Or I don't know if I would say I outright thought like, we're not going to do it. Just more so like thought it wasn't as important.
Yeah.
is more so it, and that's definitely a lot of that reviews was definitely that.
In fact, I know a guy who actually has told me that he wanted to prove Clay wrong, so he did it just to prove that he was wrong, and he found out Clay was right.
Now,
Yeah, I would believe that.
Chet Holmes, the best-selling author who wrote The Ultimate Sales Machine, the former business partner of Charlie Munger, who used to work with Charlie Munger is and was a business partner of Warren Buffett, and Chet Holmes had the opportunity to work for Charlie Munger. He wrote the book called The Ultimate Sales Machine. It has a red cover, and it reads this. The missing ingredient for nearly all of the 1,000-plus clients I have worked with directly to improve their business is pig-headed discipline and determination. We all get good ideas in seminars and from books and radio talk shows and business-building gurus. The problem is that most people do not know how to identify and adapt the best ideas to their businesses. Implementation, not ideas, is the real key to success. What are your thoughts on that?
I 100% agree. I mean, that's the same guy that the Dream 100 comes from, and yeah, that's, I don't know. I mean, if you're not even going to try it or work at it, it's obviously not going to work.
Who's not a good fit for our coaching program here?
I suppose Happy Hopers would probably just somebody who's like wanting to do it. Well, says they want to do it, but doesn't actually really want to do it or try to do it, or has their mindset on what they think is going to work and not open to being coachable.
Like Aaron Antis, for example, he didn't seem fully committed to the idea of wanting a property where he could streak freely, and that would be a Happy Hoper in the streaker game.
That's true.
Because if you're going to be a solid, have I told you guys my streaking story?
I don't think you have.
I've heard this.
Well, you're going to
You
have
have
to be
heard this?
more
I've heard this.
specific, Clay.
that with
Which
the van
one
and-
of
No,
the
listen.
guys
This is
and
a story I don't think I've
yeah.
ever shared on this show.
There's been a lot of those.
I've never
stories.
shared this story on the show. I'm going to share it with the listeners because they need to
Here we
know
go.
the streaker story.
That's right.
Okay.
I was getting married to my wife, Vanessa. I was attending Oral Roberts University.
Whoa.
And when I went to Oral Roberts University,
This is going
I was on a floor with a bunch of guys who
You
were
on the
attending
floor with
my
a bunch of guys.
exactly
Okay.
the floor of the building. Not
Okay,
on the
okay,
floor.
okay.
a college
A college floor. Okay.
dormitory.
Okay.
Okay.
So
sorry.
we
Clear it
are
up.
on the. Listen, get your mind out of the gutter as I tell the story about streaking. Unbelievable. I don't know why you put all the innuendos
That's
into
just
such
what
a
I heard.
clean story.
Okay.
So I am, getting married, and I don't want to have a bachelor party because that's just not my flow.
Yep.
I don't want to do this. So all of a sudden, a bunch of men. We were supposed to have a rehearsal dinner.
Oh yeah.
And we'd already I think we'd already had the rehearsal dinner, and this was the night of the rehearsal dinner. This is the day before the wedding. And I get onto go up to the dorm room, up to the 4 North and the dormitory at Oral Roberts University, the north wing on the 4th floor. And I get up there, and these guys aggressively grab me. And I say these guys, probably 6 to 10 guys grab me.
Whoa.
And they take me and my body into a old Suburban in the lower parking lot where people gather frequently.
Wow.
And they strip me of all my clothes, just ripping off all my clothes. And they leave me in the Suburban. I'm serious, and I am mad. I mean, I was like, I was violated. And the whole time I'm like, stop it! Stop it! Like, you will never hear the end of this! You know, and so anyway, then as I realize I have no clothes and I'm in the Suburban, it occurs to me, I now need to listen to what they're saying, 'cause I have got to get to my wedding the next day.
Mm-hmm.
So they took everything. They said, meet us at the Maybe Center in 10 minutes or you'll miss your wedding.
Whoa.
And I'm like, you guys I hate you. To this day, I'm still mad at these guys.
Mm.
And so then it occurs to me, Josiah, have you ever found yourself naked in a Suburban in a college parking lot?
Shockingly enough, I have not.
Interesting. Andrew, I think our next guest might be at the front door. They might
Okay.
not be aware of the
I hate to miss the story, but I will be
backyard
back.
technology. Yeah. So what happens is, now that Andrew's gone, I can tell the real story. No, I'm just kidding. So I then realize I have to get down, and you, Aaron, you've seen the parking lot at Oral Roberts University.
I've been there many
Craig,
times.
you've seen the parking lot.
I'll
used to
never
go
look
to
at
school
it
there.
the same.
You used to what?
I used to attend there.
Okay, so the distance from the parking lot at Oral Roberts University, where the dormitories are, to the Maybe Center, we're talking some serious distance.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm like, I got to do it. So I get out of the Suburban, just my shoes on, and I'm like, and I'm sprinting. I'm feeling good because I haven't seen anybody yet. It's getting kind of dark. I'm in like the prayer garden area. I'm hiding behind this bush. I look around. I'm still feeling good. All of a sudden, this lady's got to be in her 50s. She's like, "Oh my God, what is wrong with that man?" And then everyone's like, he's a streaker. And then I just go I just sprint full speed, and it's down the hill.
Oh.
Just nude.
Oh.
Just going as fast as I can.
And for our listeners, this is still probably available somewhere on YouTube if you look hard enough. I think.
I'm just going 90 miles an hour, just going. Well, then once I get down, because I mean, it's a big hill. I'm sprinting down the hill. I'm looking for the vehicle, whether they are, and I don't see.
Of course not.
And they're not waving at me to tell me
that
they're what vehicle they're in.
That was part of the gag right there.
So I'm down there now. Now I'm down there, and I'm naked. And I'm like tap on windows to see. And then after they watch me do that, like, because there's so many cars down there. This is the weekend. People are moving out from college. Everybody's parents are with them. Everybody's parents. They're naked, knocking on windows. They let this happen. It felt like forever. It was probably, though, seriously, 5 minutes.
Whoa.
Finally, they opened. They're like, "Get in here!" And that happened.
Oh my God.
And that's how I became who I am today. That's what causes the distrust. So I'm such an effective manager.
Lord.
And that's why I always want to have property where I can, streak without being seen. Because you never know when this is going to happen.
Back memories.
That's also part of why that's part of your interviewing process for new employees for your company.
Yeah.
For nude employees, you always do streaking.
Kind of like flashbacks.
And can I give people out there another nudity story just so that we're on this theme?
Well, yeah. I mean,
have I told you about the nude disc jockey?
Is this with the Buddha or is this without the Buddha?
Have I told you this before, Josiah?
Nope.
Okay. One of the DJ events we had back in the day was at this camp. And the gentleman who booked the party, booked the party. We had America's largest DJ company. He booked a party. And we were doing like 80 events per weekend. So events get booked all the time. It's at a camp in Bristow. And I don't know what kind of party. Is it just he says we're having a picnic at the lake. We need a DJ. So anyway, we send the DJ out there. Well, that night I come back from our shows. It's probably 2 a.m. And this guy named David, he's a bigger guy. He's a big guy. He comes back from his show, and he just looks mad. I mean, just irate.
Oh, boy.
And I said, "What's up, David?" He goes, "Dude, whatever, dude."
Oh.
And I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Dude, that is jacked up." He does not. I do not know. He does not know that I don't know. I said, "What is?" He goes, "You booked me at a nudist colony. Everybody was nude, and I showed up with clothes on, and they're all looking at me weird because I'm not nude."
Oh boy.
And I said, "So, what did you do?" And he goes, "Well, of course I got nude." Yeah. He's like, "It was so awkward." And I'm like, "No, you did." He's like, "I did." I was like, so I stood there the whole day naked DJing for people that I haven't met before.
Got some crazy sunburns.
I'm going, "No, you did." He goes, "Yeah, I did." So that happened.
Oh, no.
That did happen.
That happened. He comes home, he's all wet, and I'm like, "What happened?" He goes, "Well, at the end, we all got in the hot tub. We kind of got to be friends." And I'm like, "Get out of here!"
My gosh.
Oh God.
So I'm just throwing it out there, folks. These are all reasons why you want to get into the auto lift business, because you're not going to hear those kinds of stories. Right? I mean, how often do you run into streakers, Josiah, in your business?
Probably only 50% of the time.
Oh, okay, that's nice. And again, your website
Actually
is
really low.
autoliftserve.com. That's autoliftserve.com. Josiah, thank you so much for being on today's show. Final thoughts. Again, what kind of person would be a great fit for the one-on-one business coaching?
Somebody very committed to actually doing the system, I guess, and actually following what you guys are telling them to do. So
I totally think cloning is unethical, but if you do decide to clone yourself, have your new self call ourselves so we can have the new self as a client, because we are a big fan of you. Thank you so much for all you do.
thank you.
Take care, brother. Bye.
See ya.
Well, I think I got all the important stuff there. We talked about the Dream 100 system. We talked about online reputation. We talked about the search engine optimization.
Talked about streaking.
We talked about nudist colonies. We hit checked all the boxes.
Nude DJing.
Pastor Craig, how often do you, as a pastor, is the topic of streaking brought up at church?
Not at church at all. But let me tell you. Can I tell you my story?
Yeah, no.
Oh, he has a streaking story.
I have a streaking story.
Hey.
Wow.
Not about me, not about me,
Okay.
but about one of our great students there at Raymond Bible Training
Sure, yeah.
College. So there was one of our students who was living at our apartments there, and for some reason that he felt that the devil was all in his clothes.
Are you being serious?
I'm being absolutely serious.
Oh, boy.
And so the devil got into his clothes, and so he felt he needed to take them off. And then he felt led to go outside his house and begin to, I don't know if he went jogging, walking, or whatever, but
Are you serious?
I'm being absolutely serious.
For some reason, his story sounds crazy.
Yes. Wow. So he made it to what we call Elm Street here, right down the Elm Street.
Yeah.
71st and Elm.
Yep.
And then he began to walk down Elm Street. And then one of the Broken Arrow police, who actually was one of our graduates, thank God, saw the Nightmare on Elm Street and put him. It was a female officer, by the way, too.
Oh no.
She was able to apprehend the suspect, and instead of taking him to jail, they came back to Raymond.
Now, Pastor Craig, I don't mean to interrupt, but I thought that my attorneys had you sign a non-disclosure agreement about
We
that
thought it would not
story.
be brought up publicly again.
Yeah.
Now,
This
again,
is
folks,
so
if you're out there, pro tips, I want you to jot these down, okay? One, if you need to grow your company and you feel stuck, that's what we're here for, okay? So get out to a workshop, subscribe to the online school, reach out about one-on-one coaching. We only take on 160 clients, so if there's a little bit of a waiting list or we don't have an availability, don't worry about it. But I've been doing this since 2006, and I'll be here to help you. But you can come to a conference. You can check out the online school at thrivetimeshow.com. It's all there for you. We're here to help you. But again, knowledge without application is meaningless, according to Thomas Edison. Knowledge without application is meaningless, okay? Vision without execution is hallucination. I'm quoting Thomas Edison. Again, vision without execution is hallucination. So if you want to turn your goals and your dreams into reality, don't just be a hearer of these words, but be a doer. Join the family, join the Thrive Nation. Let's enter in that conversation together. It starts with scheduling a 13-point assessment where you'll be stuck on the phone with me, where I will ask you questions about your company and see if we can help you to grow that business, all for the low, low price of free. If you want to do one-on-one coaching moving forward, we have programs with that with my company, MakeYourLifeEpic.com, where we work with 160 business owners one-on-one. And now, without any further ado, let's end this show with a boom. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, boom.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Moore. I'm a pediatric dentist. Through our new digital marketing plan, we have seen a marked increase in the number of new patients that we're seeing every month, year over year. One month, for example, we went from 110 new patients the previous year to over 180 new patients in the same month. And overall, our average is running about 40 to 42% increase month over month, year over year. The group of people required to implement our new digital marketing plan is immense, starting with a business coach, videographers, photographers, web designers. Back when I graduated dental school in 1985, nobody advertised. The only marketing that was ethically allowed in everybody's eyes was mouth-to-mouth marketing. By choosing to use the services, you're choosing to use a proven turnkey marketing and coaching system that will grow your practice and get you the results that you're looking for. I went to the University of Oklahoma College of Dentistry, graduated in 1983, and then I did my pediatric dental residency at Baylor College of Dentistry from 1983 to 1985.
The Thrive Time Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the highest and most reviewed business workshops on the planet.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.